People have been saying that the wins and fails that I bring up are almost always really just fails, and it's making them a little stressed out and anxious. So today is the Marketing Monday, first time, Oops All Wins edition. You guys know that Taco Bell has tried to open in Mexico a number of times and have always failed. But thankfully, we can add up another win in the world of business today because the same thing just happened to Domino's in Italy, baby. Domino's Italy finally went bankrupt, and the Italians have booted all of this awful Domino's pizza out of the boot. Our first win. Something bad happening to a big corporation. How many of you would say you are somewhat proficient or very proficient at writing werewolf erotica? Well, guess what? Here's the win. It's actually a massive global gig work trend. The demand for werewolf and other monster type erotica is so gargantuanly high that people are hiring gig workers at pretty good rates across the globe, basically to churn out chapter after chapter after chapter of werewolves getting it on. If you got that dog in you, so to speak, then get on these gig services and you could be making easy cash. I want to talk about the sponsor for today's video. I want to talk about an app called Public, where you can check on your stocks and trade. It has a number of features I think are quite beneficial, including the ability to trade fractional shares in stocks. If you sign up using public.com/Atrioc, this code right here, you can get up to $300 in a free stock from me. You can follow investors. You can follow me and see when I'm trading. You can follow other people and see what they're trading. It's a simple, clean, easy to use, beautiful app that has been growing in popularity. Check it out. It's a great app. I stand behind it, and I'm happy to recommend it. So what do you do if you are a deeply unpopular president and you're having a tough time getting your ambitious Build Back Better agenda passed? Step one, you add a little bit of laser eyes. Dark Brandon, baby. Dark Brandon is the first positive piece of marketing that Joe Biden has had in a hot minute. Your malarkey has been going on for long enough, kiddo. And speaking of rebranding, what do you do if you've got an ambitious climate and tax reform bill that can't get passed in the Senate? You just call it the Inflation Reduction Act. All of a sudden, Dark Brandon finally got his bill passed. It's the same stuff. It's mostly clean energy and improvements to the tax code, but they called it the Inflation Reduction Act, and it finally got passed, and it contains a number of things that are actually pretty awesome. And most importantly to me, it is the biggest ever funding increase for the IRS. And everybody, I know, everybody hates the fucking IRS. Everybody thinks the IRS is bad. But to be quite honest, if you look at the numbers, the only thing that's happened in the past 15, 20 years is a steady defunding of the IRS. And yet, they have not decreased the amount of audits they've done on poor people. You know what has declined massively over the past 15 years? Any type of investigation at all on the very wealthy. And so what this finally does is allow the IRS to have a little bit of breathing room to actually go after some of the biggest tax offenders. It's so fucking rare that you get an actual win-win. But that is what I want to talk about with the recent announcement that Amazon is going to attempt to buy the Roomba Corporation iRobot. And now you might be thinking on the surface, this is bad. This is bad. Amazon's already an extremely powerful monopolistic corporation, and they're going to just buy their way into a market where the dominant player, Roomba, already has 75% market share. The first way it's a win is if it doesn't happen. If actually the FTC antitrust review actually stops it from happening, then we have actual monopoly enforcement. For once, monopoly law, antitrust law, is pretty strict about buying out your direct competitor. If someone is beating you in the marketplace and you just use your massive market power to buy them out, that's like pretty much expressly forbidden. And so Amazon is a direct competitor of Roomba because they actually made their own smart vacuum. But that is why it's a win, even if Amazon wins. You know why? Because their smart vacuum, the Amazon Astro, is so fucking creepy. And so if they win and buy Roomba, this thing will die. So it's a win either way. Look at this. Boo! You don't like scary movies? You want this motherfucker in your home? No. Speaking of other things Amazon is trying to dominate, Amazon is continuing to spend more and more on sports broadcast rights. They really want the NFL. And they finally got full exclusive rights to Thursday Night Football. And that doesn't sound again like a good thing. But Thursday Night Football will be broadcast not by a boring old commentator who played the game, but by Dude Perfect, baby. Dude Perfect will be officially NFL coverage for Thursday Night Football. Speaking of wins on the similar front, let's go back to corporations making big stupid mistakes and we laugh at them. Here's a win. Remember when I talked about Netflix getting into games? Guess what? Nobody's playing them. It's a win for all of us who didn't want Netflix to add more stupid ass games to their service. Well, they're already like canceling shows we like. They've been investing into playable games on the Netflix service and literally nobody's playing them. So we'll probably see, assuming Netflix is a rational company, and they've been decently rational, I assume they're going to cancel this idea and get back into improving their core product. And it's not a great sign for struggling Netflix because they've already lost, again, like 1.2 million subscribers. They're in a bad couple of quarters, and having these random ass games on there has been unhelpful. Dude, it's crazy how little Hollywood understands gaming. They don't get it at all. They don't get it for movies. They don't get it for the games itself. They don't understand it, and it's so much bigger than Hollywood now that it's shocked them. Here's a win, but this one needs some setup time. Here's a win. Yo, get it, Sherry, up my yard. Did you like that clip? If you like that clip, well then I've got another money-making opportunity for you. There is now a Family Guy Funny Moments pyramid scheme, okay? Make $1,000 uploading Family Guy clips. All you have to do is buy this simple $47 course, and you too can be uploading Family Guy clips to YouTube to make easy money. I've gotten you guys jobs writing Werewolf Erotica or uploading Family Guy clips. Don't say I didn't do anything for you. I am making you money. Couple real wins. There's signs of life in some of the dangerous things in the U.S. economy. Number one, lumber prices are cooling, along with a reduction in shipping costs falling at an incredibly rapid rate. There is a tentative sign that, we may be over the worst of it when it comes to inflation, and it may be starting to come down now. Although economists have predicted inflation has peaked a number of times and have been wrong a number of times. But there are at least finally signs that some of the inputs that led to the bad outputs are cooling. Now, whether companies relinquish their increased prices remains to be seen. It's unlikely. They have used these rising input costs as an excuse to dramatically increase prices at the expense of the consumer. Remember how I said earlier that it's kind of a big win that the IRS is finally getting funded so it can go after millionaires. Well, a great example of that is the Internal Revenue Service of Spain, who have finally gone after the notorious, uncatchable tax evader, the greatest liar of all time, Shakira. Her hips did lie. She owes so much in taxes that Spain wants to imprison her for 8 years. She has $15 million in tax fraud. If we can't trust Shakira, who can we trust? So we'll see. We'll follow this news very closely, but it's good to see, at least finally a known fraudster brought to justice. When we were talking about football, I wanted to mention, there's a player, Kyler Murray. Somebody did a statistical analysis of Kyler Murray's season and found out that on COD double XP weekends, he plays significantly worse in all categories. He is notoriously a guy that plays too much COD. This reminds me of when baseball team managers were freaking out because young players were playing Fortnite in the dugout and then playing worse. And so they were breaking the fucking PS4s in the dugout. Anyway, that's a win for just Reddit for finally finding something funny and doing something good with their time. Now, I want to give a win for nature for finally healing. A lot of things are happening that give me a sense that perhaps nature is healing. You guys remember Quibi? It was founded up by the creator of DreamWorks, Jeffrey Katzenberg. He quit his job and basically spent $2 billion of other people's money to create a video service for your phone that was supposed to trick Zoomers into watching 10-minute bad videos like Chance the Rapper's Punk'd. Unfortunately, they did not watch them. They didn't care, and the service flopped. He finally took it off his LinkedIn quietly about a week ago. It was kind of TikTok 1.0. It came out well after TikTok was already big, didn't dent TikTok at all, and disappeared. It was not TikTok 1.0 at all. It was just a really fucking bad idea. Nature's healing though. Katzenberg's Quibi's gone. Guess what? The crypto bros that all put laser eyes in their profile pictures are all slowly but surely taking them out, including this guy who is like the leader of the pack. This guy's one of the first guys to be on the fucking crypto laser eyes memes. Uh-oh. Slowly putting them away. We won't know it's truly over until Nadeshot. Until Nadeshot's Twitter changes, anything could happen. Until this crypto punk is gone, we truly won't know. Nadeshot's the last bastion. Meta had its first revenue decline ever. All of the continual bad decisions month after month, year after year, are finally catching up to this company. Big win. And the fact is, I mean, the profit drop came almost entirely from the godly amount of money they spent on VR. And the FTC again is actually stepping in and made an official lawsuit. They're trying to, again, my understanding of this situation is that Meta is attempting to buy one of the makers of one of the most popular VR games. And the idea is, if they were to buy this maker, is they would force them to only put their game on the Quest. And right now, in an early VR market, that is the exact opposite of what a healthy economy wants to do. You want a lot of competitors, a lot of headsets. So there's competition to drive the price down, to drive feature quality up. Competition is going to lead to more innovation. We are coming off decades of the FTC doing jack shit, and they're finally doing an actual lawsuit to stop this acquisition from happening. And if they do block it, it'll be a real win to having some competition in this growing industry. Remember we had a fail last week because BMW is going to charge its own users for heated seats? People are already figuring out how to pirate it. Get fucked. Easy win. Let's give the millennials a win. Guess what? Finally, we're allowed to eat avocado toast. After fucking shaming us for so many years about wasting our money on avocados and avocado toast, there is now a supply glut of avocados. And farmers are literally begging us to eat more. They've come crawling back. So everyone that ate guacamole or avocado toast today, hats off. You're doing your part to reduce food waste. You're a hero. Let the guac flow. There was one piece of news about the Meta thing. With Meta finally seeing revenue declines, we are seeing the end of the era of the Silicon Valley tech bro, with the end of endless free perks, like the ones I talked about having at Twitch in 2014. This is a win for everyone else that found them insufferable. As someone who lives in Silicon Valley, it's L for me. Again, Meta, for example, just dropped the free laundry perk they were giving out. Zuckerberg went up on stage and basically talked really seriously. He was like, this is going to be the toughest time in the history of the company. The future is going to be a very rocky economic climate. We have to batten down the hatches. We have to cut costs. We have to find a way to fight through this storm. And the first employee question was about extra vacation days. And Zuckerberg apparently let out a loud, exasperated sigh and got very angry. You know how sometimes you have so many close friends that you don't want to call any one of them your best friend? You kind of want to keep it all even. I want to give a win to Donald Trump, who found a way to solve this unique problem. Because when two Republican candidates in the Missouri Senate race were asking for his endorsement, he endorsed both of them because they're both named Eric. So the night before the election, he just said, I endorse Eric. So they both claimed it. Eric Greitens here said, I'm honored to receive President Trump's endorsement. From the beginning, I've been the true MAGA champion. And then Eric Schmidt said, alert, endorsement, President Trump. I'm a grateful president. They're running against each other. He legitimately said, I endorse Eric, and did not clarify. They both claimed it. Genius. That's enough wins. That's a lot of wins. God damn, that's a lot of wins.